I it's funny because it's really hard to take your own advice. I am always harping on with my students and with my daughter that failure is the way that you learn. That is how you get better at stuff. You don't get better from being patted on the back and being successful.
Yeah.
And yet, when it's me that does the things that I am bad at, and that doesn't go as well as I want them to, I beat myself up. And I'm sure that I am not alone. I see some nodding heads in this Zoom. Um, I think overall, I learned a ton. I was constantly taking notes. Even if my camera was off or it wasn't my turn, I was taking notes on what other people were saying to other people because there was so much good feedback, both in showcase and throughout the weekend. And overall, like I, you know, and just I don't want to be too self-indulgent, but just from going through Showcase today, it was my first time with it. I thought I did okay, and I don't know how many people feel the same way. I thought some things I were good, and some things I was like, shit, that was terrible, and that's okay. And I'm trying to remind myself. I'm saying this for me and for everyone else out there. I'm saying that I need to take that, and I think we all need to take that as this is why we came, is to get kicked in the ass a little bit and to improve because today was not an audition for the rest of your life. It was not going to make or break your career. It would have been great to have everyone say, wow, you were incredible. And it didn't happen to everyone. It didn't happen to most people. And I think that's a valuable part of being here. And so I'm going to try to let that sink in over the next few days, even if it's hard in the moment. That's what I had to say.
I love that. I love that sort of confessional. And I want to say, and this will make you feel good too, not so much my intention, but my intention is this. I want to remind you that your perception of your experience is completely thwarted, biased, and based on stress and tension and not the reality of the audience. So I will invite everyone to go into the portal and view this replay so that you can see with a fresh eye and ear what actually happened, what actually occurred versus you inside of your audition stress head. Because many a time you may not get the feedback you want or feel you deserve or expect, and then you'll get a job. And then you'll get an offer for representation. And then you'll get a connection that says, hey, you did a great job there. I want to keep in touch with you. And you're like, wait, what? I didn't perceive that that was the feedback that I got because they're just people. They're just human beings. They're just going to give you what they're getting in the moment. And then by next Thursday, they're thinking of you in a new way. That's the sort of industry that we're in, right? So don't judge a book by its cover. Don't jump to assumptions that because you feel a certain way or you were perceiving their feedback in a certain way, that they are going to act and behave based on your biased notion of what happened because you're auditioning, you're performing, you're stressed, it's nerve-wracking, it's right, it's not a natural situation in any way, right? They're much more relaxed because they're hanging out in their living room, but you're
Right.
not, right?
Well,
So
here's the other thing I just wanted to say about that. The reads that we picked. This is my first time doing showcase. Normally, when I'm reading for a casting director, I'm
mm-hmm,
responding to specs. I was
mm-hmm.
not. None of us were responding to anything right now. So any feedback you got, wasn't, oh, you got this or you didn't get it. Maybe the read that you did, even if you got bad feedback on it, like I did, would have been great if it matched specs that weren't there today. So, we were just sort of reading in a vacuum, and I think that's a hard thing to do.
And so how I perceive it, and Joanne's going to say how she perceives it, just again, because this is so educational for everyone involved, is I perceive your comment that you did a bad job today to be completely way off base, not even in the reality of GM, right? Because you're upset, you don't feel good about the feedback you got because you didn't get what you wanted to get. So what? Right? So
Right.
what? You're a pro. What they had to say to you was taking time because they see you're a pro. They want to give you their feedback. They want it to impress you. They want it to land because they want to work with you. They're
Yeah.
interested in working with you. If they weren't interested in work with you, they're not going to bother saying anything to you. Oftentimes, they're just not going to bother with that.
I
They're going
and
to feel like whatever. But no, they see you're a working guy. So they
Yeah.
want to give you different perspectives on how your interpretations are landing, and they know you can shift that. They know you can change that. They know you can adjust
Yeah,
that, right?
I totally agree with you, La. I'm processing out loud here because I know
Process
that
it.
I need to hear it, and I know that other people probably
Yeah,
are thinking and
it's
feeling the
really
same way.
important because we're so emotional. We're such emotional
Right.
beings about our work and about our lives and about what we're doing. But the reality is they are not about the work they're seeing from you. They're seeing it as they're biased as well, of course, but from the most honest point of view. They're not inside a nervous head. They're not inside a tension filled body. They're not inside an audition heart. They're inside an audience. They're inside an audience, right? So they don't have a lot of high stakes going on the way you feel you do. So just keep it in perspective. Don't read too much into it. Super important. Don't be surprised when you work with them next year. It happens all the time. It happens all the time.